feel strong emotions and often cry. Where do these emotions come from? I then find myself trying to feel the same emotions later. Is this alright? Or am I trying to enjoy my senses in the name of spiritual life? Answer. Imagine a curtain hanging over a window. The thicker the curtain, the less light will come through into the room. In the dhāma, the curtain or veil between the material and spiritual worlds is thin. Therefore, it's quite natural to feel spiritual emotion in the dhāma, in holy places. But you say you're trying to feel the same emotions later, and you wonder if this is okay. Or are you trying to enjoy your senses in the name of spiritual life? It is important that we don't become peak experience addicts. It is very dangerous to our spiritual life to want only peak emotional experiences at all times. It's also dangerous in material life. We can use marriage as an analogy. A newly married couple goes through a period we call the honeymoon. But there is no honeymoon after the honeymoon. Marriage means duty and mutual respect. And when one is dutiful in marriage, one finds a more proper and much deeper affection for one's partner. If we want spiritual life to simply be a series of honeymoon experiences, then perhaps we will find ourselves going from one guru to another, one movement to another, one dharma to another, and nothing will be enough to satisfy us. The problem with this mentality is that we ourselves remain the center of our concern, but we are meant to serve Krishna no matter what experiences we have. What we want to understand from truly spiritual experiences is that we are servants of Krishna and completely dependent on Him by His grace. Even though we don't deserve the spiritual happiness that is bubbling up inside us, now we accept it. But we understand that we are receiving the mercy of the dhāma of our Guru and of the Vaishnavas. Instead of thinking how to get more spiritual emotion for me, and me, we should shift ourselves to a service mentality. How can I offer something in gratitude to my spiritual master, to the holy Dhamma, and to the holy names? In the history of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, um, he was a self-realized personality. Uh, is is married. He had wife. So if his wife was also very much interested to experience what her husband's having spiritually, so she requested her husband, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa enlightened her, gave the instructions, and she also was very much deep into self-realization, and she was experiencing that joy within herself. But then she understood that this is taking away her from her service to her husband. She is also sitting in meditation. Husband is also sitting in meditation. And who is going to take care of the household thing? And who is going to especially serve her husband? So she said, I'm giving up all this spiritual, emotional experiences because that is not that's just becoming a block in serving my husband. So therefore she gave up those experiences that she was getting, considering that serving her husband considered to be the much more higher pleasure than having self satisfaction or self emotions. So I just remember this story. It's very important that we Instead of thinking how to get more spiritual emotion for me, and me, we should shift ourselves to a service mentality. How can I offer something in gratitude to my spiritual master, to the holy dham, and to holy names? Continuing. So the way we can discern whether we are engaging in self gratification or having truly spiritual experiences is by measuring whether or not we feel a deepening desire in our heart to serve, heart for service. This is the foundational principle of spiritual life. We are servants of Krishna. Jivere Swarupahai Nityere Krishna Das. Other than this, our quest is in spiritual life is to become more and more deeply immersed in humble and loving service to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna and their devotees. The result of this lowly position is that the spiritual energy will bestow on us more spiritual emotions and pleasure than we can imagine from our present point of view. We don't need to rush through to artificially invite or experience these spiritual energy, emotions. It will be stored on us. Last paragraph. As to where these emotions come from, they are natural to the soul, but they come by the mercy of the Dhamma, the holy names, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotees, and Srila Prabhupada. They are simply mercy. We are not qualified for anything. Therefore, they are the gift of Mahaprabhu. Because he uplifts the unqualified, Patita Pavana Hetu Tavam Avatar, Mo Sama Patita Prabhu Na Paive Ara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as an incarnation to deliver all fallen souls like us and directly bestow upon us love of God. As soon as we think we are qualified for such mercy, we should know that the false ego is expanding. Two more questions and we end this chapter. But the next question is answer is a little longer response. Let's see if there is any discussion and then we'll see if we have to do the next one. There is a saying that there are three things that one should be satisfied of, and there are three things that one should not be satisfied. Santushastrishu kartavyah swadhare bhojane dhane. There are three things one should be satisfied. Swadharam, bhojane, dhane. And there are three things that one should not be satisfied. Trishu chaiva cha kartavyah adhyayena japa dhanayah. Adhyanam, 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 and then japa, and then dhana. Those are the three things one not be satisfied. What are the three things one should be satisfied with what one has? Swadhare means one should be satisfied one with one's spouse. Dhara means their wife, but it's applicable to women also to apply the same principle. So one should be satisfied with one's spouse, and one should be satisfied with one bhojane. Bhojane means one's food, whatever the food they get with providence. And then one should be satisfied with dhana means whatever the wealth that one has. One should be satisfied with one's spouse, one's food, what they get on the day, and then one's wealth, what they have. But then one should never be satisfied with three of these things. What are the three things? The knowledge, the study, adhyanam, and then japa, chanting of the holy name. And then third is dhanam, charity. I've given my donation for this month. I'm done. Even if there's a festival or function, I'm already doing my monthly donation. Why should I give extra? So one should not think like that. I've already finished my 16 rounds of chanting. I am now sitting idle. I finished my chanting. Why should I chant extra? I kept up my commitment and promise. I'm done with it. I've already studied. I've already studied Bhagavad Gita. I've done this Bhagavatam. So what is there else for me to study more? So one should never feel like that. Therefore, Adhyayena, and then Dhanam, and what's the other one? Japa. These three things. One should never be satisfied, but one should be always satisfied with one's spouse, one's food that they get, and one's uh, dhani means the wealth that they have. This is said by Chanakya Pandit in his Chanakya Nidhi. A beautiful sloka. Let's see if there's any questions. I don't think we'll be able to finish another question and answer today. We will reserve it for tomorrow.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Prabhu, the story that you told, the wife of the great sage who actually gave up her own spiritual enjoyment through her dhyana for serving her husband. So how do we actually look at it, Prabhu? Like,
this is a simple thing. What the message here is, our spiritual emotions should not become an hindrance to our services that we offer to Krishna, to devotees, and others. Because ultimately, those emotions are for our own satisfaction. It brings some pleasure to us, as they call the bliss to us. What is more important is serving the devotees, serving the deities. That take precedence. And in the name of spiritual experience, we should not give up those things. That's the point here. So over here, his wife, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's wife, felt that she has her duty as a stree, dharma, is to take care of her husband. That is why she is married to, and therefore she felt that to be the much more important thing than anything else. And especially as per the Sri Dharma, an husband, as you already know, this thing, husbands have more responsibility of following certain things as per the scripture to attain the spiritual world. Whereas for the wives, it is said just by serving their husband, they attain the same result of what their husbands will attain. Therefore, we just follow. That does not mean that the wife should not be a devotee and things like that. She was doing, especially in her case, her husband is a great devotee, a great spiritualist. Therefore, she got the same result of what she would have attained otherwise by simply sitting into meditation, dhyana. And there are many, many such stories in the scriptures where the wives have attained self realization by just serving their husbands. Of course, the husband should be also of that standard, but even irrespective of how the husbands are, as a wife, one does their duty. They get the same result. Is it okay?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Being chaste is a very important thing. Okay. If there's no other question, it's 5:30. Thank you all very much for joining this morning. We'll meet again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Central Time. Until then, thank you. Hare Krishna. Chant and be happy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.